All right, we are recording. We are live. Welcome everybody to the Wolfpack Inner Circle Team Mastermind. That's right. Logo in the process, in the works. Yeah, there it is. Nice, sweet. We've got letterhead now. Cool, awesome. So welcome everybody. We appreciate you taking the time. Bernie, good to see you. We appreciate you guys jumping on with us, and we hope to provide some value to you guys and to help you guys in your business endeavor and help you achieve that next level. So you guys have heard enough from me. I'll let Sean and Chris introduce themselves, and then we'll move on.
Hey guys, Chris Brindamore, part of the Wolfpack here. We joined forces a little over a year ago with the intentions of bringing three minds together. Three minds are greater than one, and combined sharing our knowledge with our combined teams. So we're hoping we can provide more value with the three of us than just one of us individually.
Hey everyone, this is Sean Boynton, number 3 on the Wolfpack here, and I'm really glad that you guys can join us tonight. We're hoping that we're going to obviously give you some value and really kind of take you to the next level, whatever that is for you. We're here to support you and increase your visibility and your business tenfold. And how we're going to do that is just through joining forces here and giving you all the information you possibly need to make that happen. So with that, we're gonna kick this off. I don't know, Mark, if you wanna do the usual motivational speech, and then we'll provide more value.
I can certainly try. So I'm going to start off with what just happened a minute ago. Just before we started the recording, I had all sorts of technical issues and difficulties, and that is a wonderful metaphor for the way success works. You have to be persistent, you have to be consistent, and you have to absolutely refuse to let any obstacle get in your way. And so, do what you got to do, right? I mean, I unplugged my mic, plugged everything back in, rebooted, start over, do it, whatever you got to do. And basically, you have to remember that when you start this journey, that it is just that. It's a journey. And success, unfortunately, just so in case you guys didn't know this, unfortunately, not a straight line. Doesn't go like this, right? Oh yeah, it zigs and it zags and it's all over the place, and you're up and you're down and you're left and you're right. So what you have to do when you start thinking about your own business, you have to be prepared for obstacles. You have to get your mind prepared for you running into issues and problems and working through those, recognizing what they are early on, and thinking about how you're going to get beyond whatever obstacle comes in your way. So it could be, there's hundreds of different things that can arise. You can have technical challenges like I just did. You can have financial difficulties that stymie your process. You can be horribly introverted and not want to get in front of a camera, and that might be an issue for you. It could be technical challenges in terms of knowing how the computer works and knowing how to work certain programs. There are going to be skills that you are going to learn. There are going to be things that you don't know how to do, and every day you just learn more and more. Every day you take absolutely consistent action, daily basis. Write out what it is that you need to do for the day, and little checklist, and go through those lists. And we're going to help you determine what that list should look like. We're going to help you with what we call a DMO, a daily method of operation. So we're going to help you with the fine details on what it is that you should be doing on a daily basis. But you've got to start off by understanding that this is merely a journey. And this is something that I worked on a lot myself recently. We all want immediate results. Every one of us would love to get in the business the first week and make $5,000 right out of the gate, right? Unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that that's probably not going to happen. All of this stuff takes time to learn. All of this stuff takes time to figure out. Sometimes it takes longer than others. If you look at most of the leaders that have worked have left their jobs and gone online full time and are making consistent high level money, most of them will tell you it took them 3 or 4 or 5 years to get to the point where they were making $50,000 a month or something. And I always like to use my personal sponsor, Alex Zubarev, as an example. Like, you know, Alex might be making $75,000 a month, right? And if I told anyone that's watching this right now that in 3 years' time you were going to make 50,000, not even 75, maybe you were going to make 50,000 a month, but it was going to take you 3 years of struggle to get there, would you do it? Most people would say yes, because most people, 75,000 a month, not a year, 75,000 a month is making more money in a single month than they make most in a year, right? And if it's going to take you 3 years of struggle to get there, it's the end process is still like the means are definitely outweigh I blew that whole thing. I forget what that stupid quote was, but it just shows you don't have to know what the hell you're talking about on these things. You just keep rambling, and something good's going to come out and motivate someone, inspire someone. But you know, you just got to keep pressing forward, and I tell people, like, okay, if it takes you 3 years of struggle and you get to that level, now your life is so much better than it ever was. And, you know, if you are consistently doing the same thing that got you to the point where you are right now, then what on God's green earth makes you think that anything is going to change in your life? I mean, you've made the same decisions that led you up to this point, but now hopefully that you're here and you're watching us, you've decided to make a change. And in order to make a change in your life, in order to change your lifestyle, in order to achieve so much more, and you know, financially and you know, time freedom and location freedom, for you to have all of those things, you've got to change the way that you operate. You've got to change the things that you do on a daily basis, and you've got to change the decisions that you've made up to this point. So, like, if getting on here and talking is something that's outside your comfort zone, then remember what got you to where you were before hasn't gotten you to where you wanted to be. And now maybe getting outside your comfort zone, getting in front of the camera and talking to other people that think like you do, it may be the thing that actually propels you to the next level. That may be the thing that is an obstacle right now, but is the thing that is going to create that positive momentum, that rise in the curve that allows you to achieve unbelievably great success. So you've got to remember what your dream is. Remember why you're doing this. Be prepared for roadblocks and obstacles. Be prepared to figure out how to get past those things. I'll be honest with you. Most people, what they do is the first roadblock they hit, they quit. They give up. They go, oh, you know what? This is too hard. This doesn't work. This is a scam. These people don't know what they're talking about. There's no help. I'm all by myself. Blah blah blah. Whatever the excuse is, and then they give up. But that's what average people do. That's what mediocre people do. And hopefully, if you're on here, if you're watching us and you've teamed up with us, like, we don't team up with mediocre people. We don't team up with people that don't want more out of their lives. We only team up with people that want to achieve greatness. And if you want to achieve greatness and you're watching this right now, then you're in the right place, and we're going to help you to do that. But most average people, most mediocre people, what they do is they give up the first roadblock that comes along. So you've got to press on. You've got to get past that. You've got to climb over, dig under, go around, do whatever it takes to figure out how to get past that obstacle to eventually achieve your final destination, which is you being legend. Wait for it. Dairy. I've been watching a lot of that show. So, all right, someone else take over. I've yapped at the mouth way too long.
Sean, you want to jump in? Hey, Mark, you had a great post today, right along the lines of what you were just talking about. It was an image post.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it said, but basically you had all the obstacles and what you did to overcome them all, or what people do.
And you know what? Like, here's the beauty of this business, guys. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel's already been invented. You just use it, right? I got that post from Eliane. She posted in her group, and I liked it. and I used it, right?
There you go.
So, and I probably should have put that she, posted it, whatever. But I mean, it was actually in a Skype group. It wasn't even in a, Facebook post. But yeah, that was extremely powerful. And when I see stuff that's extremely powerful, I share that with people. And if it's about giving recognition, I got no problem doing that. But you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You see something that hits you, that resonates with you, that moves you, that gets you, motivated, inspired, gets you taking action, whatever the case. You just take that and run with it, man. Run with it. Like TD Jake says, just run. I love him. He's crazy. But yes, I just rambled on about you. You said, yeah, one good post. I just went off for 10 more minutes. All you, Chris.
All right. Hey, I don't know if you guys caught it last night. So Michael Forrest did a special webinar with Darren and Rhonda, and shared some really cool stuff. I just posted the replay in the group. If you guys missed it, I highly recommend you go back and watch that. A matter of fact, you want to catch, anytime Michael Forrest comes on, you want to catch him because it's usually good stuff. They daily have wake-up calls, and then, geez, I can't remember the name of all the calls. Black Diamond on Monday nights, On the Rise, and then on Fridays is Inside Digital Altitude. They all, if you can't catch it, and I realize people have jobs, you can't catch stuff live, there's replays of all this stuff. If you go to the DA livecall.com, you can grab the replay from there, all in your back office too. But I want to share some stuff that Michael shared, Darren and Rhonda shared, that kind of reinforced, at least to me and hopefully to a lot of other people, why we're in this business and the power of the system that we have in our hands. I mean, we basically have like this Ferrari that we could go as fast as we want, and we haven't stepped on the gas or even turned the key on. It's sitting in your driveway. It might as well be up on blocks, not going anywhere because you're not using the Ferrari. And I just want to share some of the stuff that was on last night. I'm not going to go as deep as they went, but I want to cover some of the highlights from that last night. So I'm going to share my screen here. Before I do that, I got to get out of this mode here. There we go. All right. So document I'm going to share is in your back office, by the way. So if you go to My Rank, and then right below your rank, there's this company overview. And I use this sometimes for prospects too. I'll go through this. If I know somebody, I'll jump on a Skype call and share this with them. And I'm not going to go through this thing on every page. I'm going to skip to a couple things. But this is your back office. If you want to go through this, it's over 100 pages long. I don't want to keep everybody on here all night, but I just want to show you some of the income potential of this system that we're using. So this is the base level, just so you can see here. This is just a walker, hiker, climber. And these are averages. These aren't guarantees, but this is kind of average of what we're seeing across the board. If you bring 500 leads into the system, at the walker level, about 5% of those leads are going to actually come in at that $37 level, and that's like a $15 commission to you, or $375. From there, 60% of those will upgrade to hiker. It's another $400, and then 60% of them will upgrade to climber. So just with the base package, you could be looking at $1,100 a month, which a lot of people I talk to are looking to make $1,000 a month when they first get started. Here it is right here with just the base products that we have. I want to take this to the next level here. I'm going to skip over this because this is actually the base product comes as a free upgrade to Rise. I'm going to skip right to Rise. So at the Rise level, when you add in, and again, you have to own these products to get these commissions. But at the rise level, same 500 leads, all right, you can add an additional $2,000 into that. So now you're looking at $3,000 a month. Like I said, most people that I've talked to, I've surveyed my list, they're looking to make somewhere between $1,000 and $10,000 a month. So this is certainly in that range. This is just I mean, these commissions are not increasing your marketing at all. This is leveraging the marketing. So same 500 leads, do you want to make $1,000 a month or $3,000 a month? It's just the difference of adding that one product into the mix. Now, if we bump it up and we go to Ascend, so of the Rise purchases, about 40% of the people are upgrading to Ascend. So they bump the leads here up to 2,000 just to show as you grow and bring more leads in, the income potential goes way up. So by adding Ascend into the mix, now you can add an additional $7,000 a month in commissions, or $18,000, almost $19,000 a month, which in most cases replaces people's income at that level, or more than replaces their income. If we go to the next level, to Peak, if we add the Peak product into the mix, now it's 4,000 leads. And the example Michael was using last night, I think, was 6,000 leads, which is the next slide. So 4,000 leads. We have all these products in the mix, and just with 2 Peak sales, now your income potential, it's almost $10,000 of commissions just off of the Peak product alone. You're looking at $47,450. I know Mark talked about last week about a goal of $30,000 a month. So, 4,000 leads certainly gets you to that $30,000 a month. It's almost $50,000 a month at this point. I'm going to go to Apex now, which is our top product, just to show you what leverage positioning yourself does. So now by adding Apex in there and bumping the leads up to 6,000 leads, you're looking at $84,000. So again, this is a month, and this is not guaranteed. This is a typical example, and that's with one Apex sale out of that 6,000 leads. You're looking at a potential $84,000 a month. I mean, Mark was just talking about $75,000 a month. I mean, $84,000. You're approaching $1 million a year at that point. Huge differences in anybody's life at that point. So just to show you the power of this system, I don't know of any other system that has these levels of commissions. And there are people that are making, as a matter of fact, Darren and Rhonda, I think they just crossed 2.5 million in commissions, not sales, in commissions, in less than 2 years. So it is certainly possible. What they talked about, and I posted this in the Skype group, Facebook group last night, they keep it real. This is what really hit me, is they keep it really simple. There's 3 steps. Again, these 3 steps come into play after you've been through your steps with your coach. Once you've been through all your steps with your coach, these are the 3 things they're teaching their team to do. Number 1, bring 500 clicks or leads, clicks, not leads, clicks to your affiliate link every week. So 2,000 per month, or 500 a week. And then follow up with your members. So this is something that I know Mark and Sean and I all do. We follow up with every new trial member. We email them, we text them, we try to find them on Facebook, Skype, we reach out to them, call them on the phone. So it's really important to get in touch when you bring a new member, and just reach out. You don't have to say anything fancy, just hey, hi, welcome to the team. Make sure you reach out to your coach. What's your income goal? Simple. And then the 3rd step is just to get your team to follow these steps. So that's what they talked about last night. It amazed me. I mean, I think sometimes people overcomplicate stuff, and it really kind of reinforced with me last night to keep it simple. the KISS principle, right? Keep it simple, stupid. You got to keep it simple. I think me, and I know Mark and Sean and I have talked about stuff. Maybe sometimes we tend to overcomplicate things. They really, really made it. It's three things that they're doing. That and just being consistent with your lead flow, and teaching your team, welcoming your team, and teaching them to do what you're doing. That it's that simple. And that, you know, once you get that, again, these examples are based on somebody who has some experience, and they tweaked their system till they got to that, to the point where they're upgrading. But it's something that's certainly achievable. I mean, Sarah Gallo, I love using her example because she was brand new in January, didn't know anything about internet marketing, and she just had her first, I think, $100,000 month, and she knew nothing about what we're doing. We've been in the business longer than her, and she's like blowing the doors off of all these people who've been in the business for years. And so it doesn't have to take years like Mark was talking about. It could be months. But it's just very, very powerful system that we have our hands on. And I just want to, I think sometimes we might just overlook that how powerful this system is and how simple it really is. You just got to be consistent. That's it. So I don't want to go on too long. I know we want to try to keep this to an hour. That information's in our Facebook group. You can watch the whole replay of last night to go into depth on exactly what Darren and Ron are doing. I mean, they're one of the top income earners in DA, if not the top income earners in DA. Keep it simple.
That's awesome, Chris. You know, I'm gonna jump in here because I think, you know, we're all kind of giving value in our own way, and I think that, you know, what I got out of Darren and Rhonda's webinar last night was, on top of what you just mentioned, was they compared it to, like, you know, everyone starts somewhere, whether they're a part-time job or full-time job. I think Rhonda had a corporate job. Darren, I think he worked in a it was like more of a construction or
factory. He was in a factory.
A factory type of environment.
I think Mark's got this story memorized, don't you?
Yeah, I bet he does. Two different kinds of scenarios, you know, where, you know, if you do have a full-time job where you're like in a corporate environment, you know, you've got daily things you've got to do every single day. It all depends on your job, and it all depends on what you've got to get done at the end of the day. And that's no different than what you need to do working for yourself online or even offline. Just, it's all about being consistent and doing those daily method of operation every single day. And would you rather spend 30 or 40 years doing that for someone else, you know, a CEO of some other company, increasing his, you know, annual revenue, you know, versus you doing it for yourself in your own job, creating your own revenue? Because in the end, it's going to come down to what you can do and what you can support for your family. And that's why we get involved in this type of business, so that we can control our own destiny and reach the goals that we want to put in place. And, you know, for me, it's been, yeah, I listened to like a Darren and Rhonda story, and I go, wow, they're way up here. I don't know how they got there. Well, they once were where we all are, right? And I think we limit ourselves in our mind as to what can we accomplish. You know, I think if you look at, you know, the Sarahs of the world, and you look at, you know, Alex Zuberov, you know, they came from similar backgrounds. You know, they didn't have very much. I know Alex came over with, what, $10 in his pocket, you know, from Ukraine, and gosh, he didn't even really know English. So, you know, when you hear stories like that, it's like, how can you sit back and go, well, I've lived in America all my life. You know, I've got no excuses. What am I going to do? Well, you know, Digital Altitude has created an environment which allows anybody to succeed. But the only difference is not only did they lay out the steps and what you need to follow, is you've got to take action. You've got to do it, and you've got to do it every single day. You know, we're all human here. I know there's some days that we don't get what we want to get done, but in the end, that, you know, how long is it going to take you to get to where you want to go? It's all going to depend on how much time you have. You know, you don't need a lot of time to work this business. You know, if I work full time, I come home at night, I've got dinner and kids and all of that. If I can dedicate like 2 or 3 hours a night, I'm feeling good about myself. You know what I mean? but don't do that like Monday and then wait till Wednesday and then come back on Saturday morning. It's really got to be consistent. I'm just going to hit a little bit on the DMO stuff, because I think that's really critical to kind of making your, cranking out this machine. It's really what it comes down to. If you don't put the key in the ignition of the Ferrari, it's going to look great in your garage, but you're not going to make any money doing anything. So that's really what this is about. So some of the things I do on a daily basis is, I'm online, obviously. So I'm doing a lot of online social proof, providing value to people, because that's what they want to see. They want to see, well, you're telling me that you're in digital altitude. Why would I want to get involved? Well, we created Wolfpack so that we can combine our experiences together, come on board with what we have to offer. I've been online for about 4.5 years now. Same with Chris. Mark, he's doing awesome for only like a year or two, but he's learning from the best of the best. And that's really what's important here. You've got to have mentors that are in place that are going to get you to where you want to be. We don't just follow anybody, because if you look at the results of just anybody, are they going to be high or low? They're going to be average. Do we want to be average? No, we don't want to be average. So we want to really focus on having mentors that are where we want to be financially, in lifestyle, or whatever it may be. So things you need to really focus on are really in Digital Altitude's back office. I mean, they provide pretty much everything. But like Chris said, we really kind of bring it down to just a few things to really just high level think about, so that we can get to we're not confused about it. Because if I said to you, hey, you need to do these 30 things a day, you're gonna be like, gosh, I don't even know if I can get past 6 of those things. That's why you've got to keep it really, really specific. And using a lot of the things that we talk about is really going to help you kind of accelerate your business to, I keep saying the next level, but like it's going to be further than you are now. That's really what it comes down to. So where if you struggle in places where you're not comfortable, whether it be, hey, you don't want to make a video, you should probably pick one thing that you have a challenge with. And that's for all of us. We should always think of one thing. I really don't want to do that. It's out of my comfort zone. That's the one thing you should try to do. Because I think the biggest hurdle, at least the hurdle for me for doing things like that, was, gosh, what are people going to think? I don't want to put that on my Facebook wall, because I don't want people to, what are they going to think about what I'm doing? It's not traditional. You know what I mean? It's not like just go to work and come home. It's go to work and then do something else. Or what's this other thing that Sean is doing? And how can he back it up and prove that that works? So there's a lot of things involved that you need to kind of focus on. But the one thing you want to do is get uncomfortable. And that takes a lot of courage. But we can do it as a team, and we can do it together. You know what I mean? I suggest we do like a 30-day challenge or something like that. A lot of things come out where people can get involved in something they're not comfortable with, just by getting together and saying, hey, we're all going to commit to this. Or, we have a daily method of operation, sheet that we can check off as we go along. And as long as you get these things done, you feel like you've contributed to that day. How many times have you sat there and go, wow, I didn't do anything. I just scrolled through everything that Facebook had to offer, and what did I get out of that? Some funny cat videos, you know what I mean? So some of the things you really got to focus on are really things that you want to keep it simple, especially if you're new. You really want to keep it to a point where you're not getting overwhelmed by what we have to offer here at Digital Altitude. And you want to keep it consistent. I mentioned that earlier. You want to keep it consistent every single day. You want to do these 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 things, and then expand that. And Mark does Instagram a lot. I've done Instagram. There's people do Twitter, people do Facebook, and there's a lot of other things out there that people can kind of focus on. But it's all going to depend on budget. And if you want to do something where you're trying to promote yourself, you need to be attractive. You need to have people attract to you. So there's a lot of factors get involved with it, So I don't know if you guys want to kind of throw anything out there based on what I've talked about, because I know I've kind of gone broad a little bit, but I want to kind of home it back in. Let me know what you guys think.
You know what? I'd like to touch on that. If you're brand new in this and you're watching this, let's say you haven't even gotten through the 18 steps yet, so you're not really ready to market at this point. The number one thing, and even if you are, the number one thing you need to work on is you. the number one thing you need to work on is what's between these two ears. And here's what we recommend. All three of us recommend the same thing, that you read at least 30 minutes every day, that you watch some sort of motivational video or something that is going to educate you and get your mind right, because you've got to believe first that you deserve to have success, that you deserve to become free and have everything that you ever wanted. Um, and the only way that you can do that, the only way you can convince yourself is by feeding that stuff into your brain. I'll tell you a little story about me. I mean, I went through a really, really nasty divorce, and I'm not going to get into the details, but these guys will tell you it's some of the nastiest divorce you've ever heard, right? But the bottom line is I came out the other side, and I realized I went from being a glass is half full guy to a glass is not even half empty, but broken and shattered on the floor. And I always used to, say to myself, I was a pretty positive person, and I realized I was living in a really, really negative place after all that had occurred. So, I was introduced to internet marketing, and the truth of the matter is, for the first 6 months, I did not even attempt to build any sort of business. It was a previous opportunity, but I didn't even begin to try to build the business. I spent the first 6 months learning from those people that I need to read, and I need to fill my head with positivity. And that's how I got into all the motivational stuff. I started constantly filling my mind. I'm an oral surgeon, right? So I would go in between patients while I was writing my charts. I'd put my headphones on and I'd listen to a video while I'm writing my charts, because I needed to constantly infuse my brain with positive thought and mental twist. I needed to get out of that funk that I was in and believe that I deserved better than that, and that the world was good and it wasn't all lawyers and alimony. So I constantly listened, I constantly read, I constantly put positive things in my mind, and then after about 6 months, I decided, hey, you know what? Maybe I should try this business thing too. So and that started my journey. But it all started with mindset. It all started with getting my mind right, getting those negative self-thoughts, that voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, you're fat, you're overweight, you're too skinny, you're too young, you're too old, you're not the right color, you're not the right gender, you're not. All of those things have to go. They all have to go. You got to get rid of that crap. And the only way to get rid of that crap, you kick that negative shit out and you put in positive stuff. That's how you get rid of it. And then when you actually start to believe that you're worth something, and you actually start to believe that you were meant for abundance, not for scarcity, you were meant to have anything and everything you ever wanted, and you deserve to have those things, that's when all this stuff will start. That's when your business will take off. And it's not the autoresponder you hooked up, and it's not the email you sent out that day. All of those things are necessary, but that's not what creates the change. That's not what allows you to become something more. That's not what draws people to you. We talk about attraction marketing all the time. You don't want to go chasing after people saying, hey, I got this great opportunity. You got to go check it out. You want people coming and going, man, I love what you talk about. I love your energy. I love what you have to say. And, oh, by the way, I noticed you're in a business. What is it? What do you do? That's what you want. You want people coming to you and going, hey, what is that you're doing? I saw you made a bunch of money yesterday. How'd you do that? That's way more fun than, hey, Bernie, you got to check this new opportunity out. It's awesome. You know what? People don't care about that. They don't care, because people don't join great opportunities. People join people they know, like, and trust. That's who they join. You probably jumped on here with one of us because something that we did resonated with you, and now you joined the business because you liked one of us. So you liked what we had to say. You don't have to necessarily, you don't know the people really, but something about us resonated with you, and you took a leap of faith, and you took a chance, and you joined the business. All right, I'm going to stop monopolizing the time here. Chris, say something quick. You have 3 seconds. Go.
Absolutely. So the 30-30-30 program, I think we talked about it last week. So if you missed it, so to reinforce what Mark said, mindset is your first project is you. It's not learning how to market. It's not learning how to use your autoresponder. The first project you need to do is work on you. You need to develop that mindset. So you need to, like Mark said, read 30 minutes a day, listen to 30 minutes of audio. You need to do that every day in and day out, because we're all crap magnets, right? We got all this crap from people in our lives, from the news, from newspapers, whatever, is all full of negative, and it all is embedded in our minds. And you need to push some of that crap out, like Mark said. And the way to do that is this 30-30-30 program. That is the first thing you should be doing before anything, before you start any marketing, anything.
And Chris, on that note, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but on that note, the reason that you want to do those, like video, audio, and reading, is all 3 of those things hit the brain in different ways, and they trigger neural pathways differently. And so all 3 of those methods are incredibly powerful in different ways, and all feed each other. So you can't just do one. You gotta do them all. Got to do them all. Sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to get that in there. So when we talk about the 30-30-30 thing, it's really important to do all 3 of those things, because you learn in different ways. I cut Chris off, and he's done. He's done. He's like, no, I can't get a word in with that Shankman guy on here. I can't. I'm just gonna give up.
Yeah, I'm good. I think that was everything that I wanted to share anyways.
All right, cool.
Sean, you got anything else? We hit on everything?
Yeah, I can take it in a whole bunch of different ways, but I think we want to kind of keep it as simple as possible, because, how long it all depends how long you've been doing this. If you're really new, if you've been doing this for a while, but just not had any success, the fundamentals that Mark and Chris just talked about are something a lot of people just don't think is the answer. They just think that I just got involved in this to make money. But remember, you're carrying lots of baggage and lots of issues. I don't care who you are. You've got a lot of bad habits. It's like if you want to go play golf, right? And you swing really bad, and then you don't want to get a mentor to help you fix that. What are you going to do, right? You're going to continue just to hit, swinging correctly. So there's a lot of things that doing the reading, doing the video, not video, but listening to audio and watching other, mentors speak about where they've come from and how they got to where they got to is really, really powerful. And you have to experience that so that you know that, hey, if I'm going to change, if I want to be like that, I have to change the way I think about things. You know what I mean? So that's why it's really important. And, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, there's a whole bunch of different books out there. I'm not going to get into them right now, but check it out online. Go and think about spending 30 minutes a day, reading a few chapters. It's not a bad thing. It's going to make you think, oh, okay, I've got to think about this a little bit differently. So yeah, I'm just kind of echoing what you guys are saying. But I can tell you right now, from all the years that I've been in this, I had to change the way I think from a job mentality to an entrepreneur mentality, and it's 2 separate things, completely separate. Job, you're giving services, and that's all you're doing. You're really not getting back anything except a paycheck. But entrepreneur, you're learning to build yourself so that you can create ultimate wealth beyond what you could make in your job. And you just always have to understand that there's other things out there that are going to help you besides, going to a job every single day. We all have to start there, but we don't have to end there. And that's really kind of my message for tonight is really kind of, look at the goals you want to, write down the goals that you want to achieve, and think about them every single night. You know what I mean? Before you go to bed, maybe write them down, saying, you know, in 90 days, I will achieve this, or in 90 days, I will get closer to my total goal of making this much money per month. I know it sounds corny, but these things do work because your brain's going to listen to what you're saying and it's going to manifest it in some way or fashion or form, as long as you're consistent about doing that and thinking like that. Because I can tell you right now, I mean, I grew up with a very negative family. They, you know, they didn't have that strong-willed mentality of like, I can get this done. It was very much like they had excuses everywhere you looked. So, and negativity, which negativity, you just really got to get out of your life. You always got to keep things positive and always look to know that if someone else can do it, I can do it too. And the best part of this is you're not walking the path alone. You're walking it with other people who are in the same boat and want to get to the same, you know, place that you want to go. So with that, I think, you know, I think we covered a lot today. Is there anybody that else has any questions or anything like that they want to kind of touch on? All right. If not, that's okay. You can actually watch the replay. You can get in touch with us on, you know, individually, or however you came into this and met up with us. And that's how, you know, that's how we'll get back in touch with you. You know, we're the Wolfpack, and we're working 3 minds together is better than 1. So that's how we feel. Awesome, guys. Any last words here?
Actually,
Yeah,
go ahead, Chris. No,
I want to add
please.
one thing before we go here, and maybe you're brand new, you didn't hear me say this, but if you have questions that you want us to cover on this, we'd love to hear from you guys. If there's something particularly you want us to cover, and you can get 3 different perspectives on the same thing. So reach out to one of us or post something in the Facebook group that you want us to cover on one of these masterminds, and we'll be more than willing to cover it. Sorry, Mark, I cut you off.
No, that's okay. No, I wanted you to. I can keep going for another 3 hours. One thing that I thought is really good we've got like 5 or 10 more minutes. One of the things that I think is really good for new people starting off, especially if you're not done with the steps yet, is to start building your following and start telling your story, because both of those things are what are going to attract people to you. And those types of things are going to allow you, you know, Chris started off early on with, you know, getting 500 leads a month or a week or what, you know, whatever. To get those leads, you have to have people looking at your opportunity, right? And so the way that you can do it, before you start having marketing links, before you start doing any kind of paid advertising, before you do any of that, you start organically. You start on Facebook, you start on Instagram, or whatever other social media platform you want to choose. But that's something that you can be doing in the early stages. That's something you can do before you have a marketing link to even advertise. You know, you start talking to people that think like you do. You start going on to, you know, I like to go to like Tony Robbins or Gary Vee or Les Brown or any of these people and look at people that are commenting on their posts, and then reach out to those people and have a little short conversation with them, and then friend request them, get them, you know, as friends on Facebook or other social media platforms, and start to get used to telling your story. Tell people who you are and what you're all about, so that when you finally do have an opportunity to share with them, you've already created a little bit of a following. And honestly, I think these guys will back me up on this one. That's something I don't think we spend enough time doing early on, and it takes a while to develop a big following. The sooner you start that, the better off you're going to be. And I think that's a brilliant thing to be doing before you have a marketing link to even put out there, you know, because you can't just spam the link everywhere. Nobody cares about your link. What they care about is you, and the only way they're going to find out about you is if you actually tell your story. Tell them what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. You know, I tell people all the time, I'm an oral surgeon, I make a good living, but I see something better. I see something more. I want to be home with my children. I want to teach them entrepreneurial spirit. I want to be able to travel when I want. I don't want to be bound to a job. And although I own my own practice, I realized cash flow quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki, sort of like what Sean was talking about, that I merely own my job, but I'm still bound to a job, a 9-to-5 job, just like anybody else that's working for someone else. So even if you're self-employed, you just own your job, but you're still beholden to that job. So, start to get your story out. Tell people why it is that you want something more, what it is that you hope to accomplish. And that will carry you a long, long way when you actually do unlock your steps, when you do actually get a marketing link and you actually promote the business. Tell people who you are and what you're all about, and get the people that resonate with you. And not everybody's going to, and that's okay. You want to find the people that are like you. You want to find the people that resonate with you. The beauty of having three of us is different people are going to resonate with each of the three of us. And now we can bring people together and come together as a group. But all three of us are different, and all three of us are going to resonate with different people. So that's what you can be doing now in the early stages.
Yeah, remember, there's hundreds of thousands of people out there who are looking for another way to make money. And online marketing and what we do is becoming more popular and more popular. And people are starting to accept this type of work. I mean, people, it's a laptop lifestyle. People look at that as like, oh, is that real? It's definitely real, because there's tons of opportunities out there that allow it to make it real. And that's what people don't, I think when I started looking for something else, it was probably, gosh, it had to have been about 8 years ago. I was just like, well, I'm good at what I do at my job, but there's got to be other things out there. And, you can Google things like how to make money online, things like that, and you'll find lots of different things out there. Some things are good, some things are bad. But the point I'm trying to say is there is going to be, in the next 3 years, there's going to be a huge influx of people who either are losing their job to automation, and whether it's a factory lifestyle, whether it's something where you don't need as many people to do it because of automation. There's just lots of opportunities that are going to be coming over the next 3 or 4 years, and many, many, many people, more than there is now, are going to be looking at opportunities like what we have to offer. So don't ever feel like we're limited or like, who am I going to talk to? It's just the way we do it, and to create that attraction is going to really be the key. You know what I mean? We can't like Mark said, we can't go out there and spam our links. That doesn't amount to very much of anything. I think we've all kind of been down that road, and we've come to realize that it does take growing yourself and making it, telling your story and having people resonate with you and like what you have to offer. And then, hey, what is it that you're doing? Because I noticed there's some other things going on in your world, So I just wanted to add that. Chris, if you have anything else you want to bring up?
I'm good.
Awesome.
And I'm not going to allow myself to talk anymore. It will be on another 2 more hours. No, but that's again, it's the thing you can be doing early on to get things off the ground before you have a chance to do that. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna shut myself down because these guys will follow my lead. But thank you so much for watching, and we really appreciate you guys. We want to help you guys. We want to help you overcome whatever obstacles you're having, whether they be technical or mindset issues. And Bernie, thanks so much for jumping on here live with us, and we'll see you guys on the next hangout. I don't know if we're going to do it next Thursday, but maybe we'll take a little hiatus. But Milton, good to see you. Unfortunately, we're leaving, but thanks for jumping on here anyway. Check out the replay. All right, guys. Take care. Good seeing everybody. Wolfpack!